ask because you don't know the real questions that you even need to be asking because you don't know nothing about no legal system half the time. Like you just don't understand. Like, and then they talking about okay, 10 years, 20 years, all of this sort of stuff. I'm like, hold on, wait a
Right.
minute, like what?
Yeah. Yeah. Numbers like that.
Like you ain't a, so you just being pushed through. How they say you just being pushed through like another number, another body, just like okay, whatever, yeah, go. And I remember, it's funny. I was thinking about this the other night. I think I was driving. I be thinking when I drive all the time at work, and I was thinking like, I remember one time I tried to fire my lawyer when I was in court, right? And and at this particular time, like the judge wouldn't let me do it, and I just couldn't even understand. I'm like, you can't fire your lawyer. I'm like, hold on, what is this? I can't fire because I was like, I'm knowing like, man, something ain't right about this whole process. And yeah, you gave me this
Right.
lawyer, and I ain't feeling this. Like I'm just knowing something ain't right. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I know something ain't right. So I'm trying to fire the lawyer. And like, well, no, you can't fire this lawyer. She's doing a good job and blah, blah, blah. And all this. So I'm just like, you just being pushed through the process. Like, okay, you push through the process. That's why, I compare it like a drag net. Like a drag net is basically, this net that you put on the bottom of the ocean or in the sea, and it's just meant to just catch a bunch of fish. And
So
so,
what specifically did your lawyer do to where you was like, man, I don't really want to rock with her like that.
man, it's just, I mean, it's like, listen, these lawyers, man, you catch a case, you get some kind of public defender. Listen, man, these lawyers are not there to help you. They're just not. I mean, it's just, that's a whole nother conversation because then I got to go into a whole nother thing. I
Right, right,
swear,
yeah,
they,
yeah, yeah.
they just they're not there for you. It's a public defender. They there to defend the public. Like,
Right.
man, it's
Yeah.
just listen, just even thinking about that stuff now is starting to halfway make me upset, man, because it was like, nah, you just know like this ain't right. I don't know what it is, but this whole thing is ain't even right that y'all
Right.
got going on here. What is this, right? So, you go through the process, they push you through the process, they put you in the slammer. So now you there. And now you're around there with all these other people, right? You like, and you got to kind of figure this thing out in prison. Really, just wasn't no. It really wasn't no intimidating place to me. I don't, people got all these stories about prison and stuff like that. It's just, maybe it was the prison that I went to, but it just wasn't that. I mean, it really, like I say, coming from a job corps, then going to the military, then going to prison. It was another institution to me. Like I
Right.
was really
Yeah.
used to this since the time I was about 16 years old. So you mass feeding in the child hall. Everybody going to bed at a certain time. You got certain times where you can move, and it's a structured, ordered society, like the military. I mean, it's a little different, but it wasn't no much. It wasn't that much different. So I was like kind of used to it. So that didn't even bother me.
Right.
Like
Right.
I've been in institutions, by choice at that particular time before I went to prison. I've been in them type of institutional living, so that ain't bother me. But you running around and yeah, you start, meeting and greeting, dealing with all these people. When you're in a federal prison, you around people from all over the country. You locked up with a lot of these guys from everywhere. Different cities all around the country. You got the urban black male here. And
Right.
so I
Right.
had a distinct experience, because I'm not, quote unquote in the urban area. Grew up in an area urban, I was from rural, so I had to I could see certain things, but you got this. So you around all of these individuals who grew up in these cities, and you begin to get a understanding, and you begin to get an understanding. You begin to get a picture of collective black life in the cities, in the inner cities. You begin to get this picture because you begin to observe these people. You begin to observe these men. You're like, why y'all think like that? Why you what? And you hear stories. You're like, why would you even think something like that? Or how did you get involved in this? Or how do you don't even see that this ain't that? Or but you begin to see certain. You begin to develop a picture of collective black life all over the country. Particularly
Right.
in
Right.
inner cities. and particularly with black men. And you begin, and a narrative begins to appear, and you say, hold on, this is something that you like, we all similar in some type of way, and and we all dealing with this issue. How did we all end up here? Like we all here. And this is just one prison. You got, hundreds of them, dozens of them, hundreds of them all across the country.
Right. Yeah.
Same story. Because you can go to a state prison, it's pretty much the same story. It's a little bit